friends? Today we're talking about why you need to write a book. And I think this is one of the most important things that you can do as an entrepreneur. And I think it might be something that is underplayed that you put on a back burner. And I hope, my goal is by the end of this, that you might want to bring it to the forefront of your to-do list. And I think it's going to be a lot easier to do than you think. Before we jump in, I just want to remind you, I'm going to be at Thomas Plummer's Writer School in June 20th through the 23rd in Providence, Rhode Island. If you'd like to join me there, I'll post the link below, or you can go to performbetter.com and search around until you find writing school. And then in May, I'll also be doing a short training on how to make your emails good enough that people want to read it. So that's coming up too. It's going to be an hour or two with me live. You can ask any questions you would like. And of course, the recording is yours into perpetuity. Now, looking at your book, your source book, the reason I chose the term source book is because if you write this book properly, if you frame it properly, it will become the hub of everything that you do. Because what I think most people, when they think of writing a book, they think, oh, I'm going to write the everything book. I'm going to outline all the things I do. Or so that's one option. Or maybe the other option is I'm going to just do a cheapo little nothing book that people are going to download as a lead magnet and then never read again. And I think both of those options are terrible. I think the cheap lead magnet option puts you in a position where you are just, gosh, this is the first interaction people have with you, or maybe the first paid interaction people have with you. And you want to give them a cheapo piece of garbage? Like, what are they going to expect from you? More garbage, right? And so don't do that. And then I think the other side of things where you deliver this massively overwritten book, that's not good either. What you want to do is thread the needle, and you want to deliver them this source book, and it's from conception, like where have you come from? It's the category that you dominate, right? So not just the niche, not just the area you're in. Like, I come from a fitness background, and if you go to any gym in our area, there's the rehab guy, there's the performance guy, there's the bodybuilder guy, there's the fat loss guy, and none of them are different than the rehab guy, performance guy, body fat guy at any other gym. And so if you want to really differentiate yourself, you have to niche down hard enough where you've actually created your own category. And that's what this book is about. Effectively, you're giving away your best secrets in a concise book. I think under 200 pages is appropriate. You want to hand them something that they could probably read in an afternoon, that gives them everything that they would need. Because look, information at this point is cheap. People aren't buying your information any longer. What they're after is motivation, they're after entertainment, and most importantly, they're after implementation. What do I do with this data? How do I take this massive body of knowledge, apply it to my situation, and move forward? And that's what you're going to do with your book. And the cool thing is, and I've talked about this a lot before, you can use your email newsletter, the one that you are already writing, as the framework for your book. If you step back, you've defined your category, you know where you're headed, you can use the emails that you're already sending across the course of probably 12 weeks. If you send 3 emails a week, in 12 weeks, you can have the majority of your book done. And once you've completed that, once you've completed your book, you've sent it to a legitimate editor, you can have it printed through either a micro publisher or through KDP, that's the Amazon Kindle publishing. And then you have a physical book that you can hand to people. And what this does for you, it opens doors, right? You get on stages that you never anticipated before. It adds credibility. People look to you and say, oh, that's the guy that wrote the book on this highly specific issue that I am dealing with. He or she is going to be able to get me to where I want to go, right? It gets you on stages, right? So you're able to speak to people. And then it also provides, as opposed to a low quality lead magnet that treats your audience like garbage, it's a high value thing that people could actually, if they have the motivation and wherewithal, they could take that book and go and do what they want to do. Now, the likelihood of them actually doing that is very, very low, but it acts as a way of selling your services. And then as a hub of your marketing, everything shoots off from that, right? You can always point back to your book. Someone comes into your brick and mortar, hand them a copy of your book and say, hey, look, this is a gift for just coming in. Again, chapters you can send out as lead magnets or as incentives. And then what you also can do is for employees. So when your employees come in, they read your book and they have an understanding, at least at a base level, of what you do as a company. It is the everything book. And don't worry, you're not going to try and condense all of your knowledge into a sub 200 page book. That would be ridiculous. What you're going to do is say, okay, what's the entry point? Where are people coming in? Because from there, you can continue to write and write and write. And in actuality, you could continue to write for, you could continue to produce books, one or two a year if you use that same strategy. Now, you might think, well, my current clients are going to be bored of hearing me come back to the same philosophies. They're going to be bored of hearing this information again. And I'm going to say, I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to actually say that's wrong. And here's why. Fundamentally, I think that people don't necessarily need to learn more. They need to be reminded of what they already know. And so if they have bought into your service, they're going to be comforted knowing, like, hey, this is still the core things I need to know. And I had forgotten that. I'm not doing that thing. And your current customers will be heartened to know those things. Your prospective customers will see a vibrant community wanting that's doing what you say can be done. And then your past clients, the clients who've left you, will be reminded, oh my goodness, I should come back to that. And so, and all with a simple book, right? I want to put a caveat on this because I don't think a lot of you might be tempted to use. There's a lot of AI services or sometimes even a ghostwriter to use them. And here's why I would caution you not to. First off, in the writing of your book, you will refine your ideas. In the writing of your book, you will get better. Everything that you're thinking about, talking about, will come to more cohesion and come into a central point. You don't get that with AI. You don't get that with a ghostwriter. Some ghostwriters, they do an interview process that works really well. And even if you do know your stuff really well, you haven't sat down and thought about it. Because if you remember this, remember that when you sit to write, writing is thinking refined. It's wrestling with your ideas. It's wrestling with yourself until you actually know what you're saying. Until you've done that hard work yourself, it doesn't matter how good the AI software is. Even if it does the refining process for you, you are not going to be better for it, and your service will suffer, and there will be a disconnect between you and the book. So overall, and then two, I mean, I know AI is getting better. I know that it's going to be a force in our lives moving forward. But it sucks right now. Like most of the stuff you look and you're like, oh man, that's written by AI. This is it, and it's garbage. Okay, so that's a little caveat about AI. I have a lot more thoughts on it, but there you go. So that's why I believe you need to write a source book. I think it's important. I think it's different than any other book that you would write. It's not it's not going to be like a salesy book. You're not trying to sell them. You're giving away first. I think Gary Vee was right when he said jab, 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 right hook. I think you have to just give and give and give and put your best stuff in that book. That's all I got for you today. I hope that was useful for you. What I want to remind you of, like I did at the beginning, if you're going to be on the East Coast in June, I'm going to be teaching at a writing school out of Perform Better. So it's Thomas Plummer's writing school with Perform Better. I'd love to see you there. It's going to be a fantastic school. It's going to teach you how to implement writing in your business so you can become a better writer and make more money from it. And then at the end of the month, going into May, I'm also going to be hosting a live webinar where we're going to be talking about how to write emails so that you make money off of them, so people actually want to read them. So if either of those things interest you, just look for more information, check the links surrounding this video, and we'll go from there. But like always, enough for now. Go write something.